UTPA women's basketball on the cusp of history after a historic weekend. We take you to all the action. UTPA baseball opens up play this weekend. We get you ready for the season. And soccer season may be over 6 months away, but it's never too early to start training. We catch up with UTPA women's soccer. This is Bronc Country. Hey everyone, and welcome to Bronc Country. I'm Jonah Goldberg. The University of Texas Pan American women's basketball team has been playing this season with the mantra, "Make that change." They've made no secret of their goals. In addition to hanging some banners in the field house, the Broncs have a stated goal of breaking the program wins record. And after this past weekend, the Broncs are on the cusp of history. Broncs playing host to Kansas City at the UTPA Fieldhouse. 4 minutes in, the Broncs have missed their first 4 attempts from behind the arc. That's going to be ironic, don't you think? Shante Goff buries the 3, and we're off to the races. A little over a minute later, it's Tonisha Walker dialing up long distance, and then hitting redial. Midway through the half, it's Goff again. The Broncs are up 22-12. Getting late in the half, still a 10-point game, and Shazay has the right stuff. Broncs by 13. Now it's an 11-point game when Goff does it again. Broncs up 36-22. Second half, Walker doing it again and again. Broncs up 16. 13 minutes to go. Hildur Bjork Karchens daughter pops a 3. Broncs up 53-32. Final minutes, Goff nails another 3, and then Stephanie Onyeje for good measure. The Broncs hit a season-high tying 11 three-pointers to win 69-51. Goff led all scorers with 19 points and 7 rebounds. Walker with a career-high 18 points. Karchens' daughter with some strong minutes as well, scoring 9 points with 7 rebounds.
The team just been practicing really hard on shooting, defense, and it showed really well tonight.
We watched film on them pretty good, and we noticed that, they play a pretty expanded zone. The wings are out pretty far, but their hands are down. And there's a famous saying, hand down, man down. So we just shoot it in their face. There's no problem on that. And, Coach, he gets mad when we miss it, but he always encourages us to keep shooting, so that's what we do.
When Tonisha Walker's on, then we're a pretty good offensive team because it balances us out. Shantae's Goff is going to get her 15 to 20 every game. Brittany Bush hurt her finger, jammed it pretty bad, got in foul trouble, and we missed her, but we had other girls pick it up and good inside work by Hildur. She had a nice game, and then we got people coming off the bench that did a very good job for us.
Next up was Chicago State, and the Broncs were hot out of the gate. Bush with the layup, and then Goff for 3. The Broncs led 7-0. Now it's 7-2, and Bush makes another layup. And then, on the ensuing inbound pass, look at Tonisha Walker. The steal and the bucket, Broncs up 11-2. Now it's 11-4 when Goff pulls up from downtown, 14-4 Broncs. The Cougars pulled within 7 with about 5 minutes left in the half, but look at Stephanie Onyeje. Lead back in double figures. And then Bush lays it in. Broncs by 12. Cougars cut it to 8 with 35 seconds left, but Walker hits the 3. And then, with the clock expiring, Goff, swish. 13-point game at the half. Start of the second half. Look at Raquel Preston. Goes coast to coast for the layup. And then, after some free throws, Preston gets those points back. The Broncs led by as many as 15. They go on to win 66-57. Bush with her second double-double in 3 games, scoring a career-high 20 points with a season-high 16 rebounds, 1 shy of her career high. Goff another 14, and how about Shazay Wright? Hit a trio of 3s off the bench en route to a 10-point night.
We had a lot of things that we don't normally do, but other than that, we still played well. We finished hard, and that's all that matters to me. So
You just got to appreciate wins. As you get into conference, you get into This is our 23rd, 24th game or somewhere along that. It's a grind. You wear down, and we did a pretty good job of fighting and keeping it where it needed to be, and we got a win.
The Broncs are now 13-10 overall, marking the best 23-game start in program history. The Broncs are now 1 win away from tying the program record for wins in a season. The Broncs are 6-2 in conference play for just the second time ever, and they're looking to become 7-2 for the first time. The Broncs now have 10 home wins, tying the program record. Lots of history on the line, not to mention placement in the standings, when the Broncs visit Bakersfield Thursday and Seattle Saturday, before hosting NJIT on Broncs against Breast Cancer Night in a non-conference game on Monday. With the women at home, the men on the road, starting with Kansas City. Opening minute, Janari Josar puts the Broncs on top, and then Shaq Hines follows suit. A minute later, Broncs down 1 again, but Dan Kamasa puts the Broncs up 1. Now it's 10-7 when Josar brings the Broncs within 1. 2-possession game? Make it 1 possession. Hines doing everything he can to keep it close, makes it 21-17 there, but the Kangaroos score the next 11 points to pull away for a 70-45 victory. Hines led the Broncs with 15 points on 6 of 9 shooting. Josar narrowly missed a double-double with 13 points and 9 rebounds. Kamasa also with 9 boards, as the Broncs out-rebounded the Kangaroos 35-29.
It was a game of turnovers, really. I think it was a 2-3 point game with about 7 minutes left in the first half, and we, continued. Even at that time, I think we had 8 or 9, 10 turnovers into the game. Continued to have 6 or 7 more the rest of the half, and allowed them out for easy baskets, and just never handled the pressure well. And second half, more of the same. Ended up with 28 turnovers, and kind of a rare occurrence for our team, but it happened, and that affected us, I thought, on both ends of the floor.
41 hours later, Broncs visiting Chicago State, and Shaq Hines gets the Broncs off to a good start. Then, after a Dan Kamasa steal, it's Hines again. 4-0 Broncs. Now the lead is 1 when Hines slams it home. Broncs up 6-3. This one was close for most of the game, but the Broncs fall 78-73. Big game for the Shaq attack, as Boga hit a career-high 6 threes for 24 points, while Hines went 11 for 16 from the field for his 24. Janari Josar did a nice job of getting to the line, going 8 for 9 en route to a 13-point game.
Chicago State was pretty much a nip-and-tuck game into the second half, and then it blew open. We had we had 1 turnover, and then they hit about 4 threes in a row, and we went on a little dead spell, and then, by the time we fought it back, it was a little bit too late.
Here's a look at the WAC standings. The Broncs now tied with Chicago State, still within striking distance of quite a few teams, including their next 2 opponents, Bakersfield and Seattle. The countdown is finally over. Baseball season is here. Next on Bronc Country, we get you ready for the start of Broncs baseball.
It all comes down to this. 14 teams battle their way through the bracket for a chance to punch their ticket to the big dance. Be a part of the madness in Las Vegas, March 11th to 14th. Go all in and witness who goes home a champion at Orleans Arena. The 2015 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. Tickets on sale now
at UTPABronx.com.
We will work our minds, raise our hands, and search for the answers. We will study the stars, learn to speak each other's languages, and hear each other's songs. We will make each tomorrow brighter, more prosperous, and completely new. We cannot predict the future, but we can and will build it. We will come together. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. New opportunities for the 21st century.
One of the great things about living in the Rio Grande Valley is that when baseball season starts in mid-February, it's often in the 70s and 80s, making regular outdoor practices a breeze. But now, the preseason practices are over, it's game time. Romeo Villarreal has a full season preview.
This baseball season, Coach Mantrana's hopes are set pretty high for this team. And one of the keys to a successful season for his team will be staying healthy.
We want to compete for the WAC championship, and we want to have a good year. But a lot of that has to do and will depend on our pitching, and in particular how healthy we're able to stay. Because I really like our starting players, but unfortunately we don't have a whole lot of depth.
Another key to a successful season will be the Bronx pitching rotation, which is led by senior pitcher Blake English, who's taken his leading role in stride.
Well, the biggest change with Blake this year, Romeo, he's really he's come back with the attitude that that he's committed. He wants to become the best pitcher he can. As far as he's always, last year we're very coachable, would do things, would work. But this year he's really come in fantastic shape. He's lost about 15 pounds. He's working extremely hard. He wants to be the kind of pitcher that I feel he can be.
One of the areas Blake is strongest in is his mental toughness and ability to keep a cool head no matter the environment.
I've come a long way, mentally strong. Wise, I've played, I've had experience pitching in front of a few thousand people, A&M, Texas, places like that, where, the crowd, they can be brutal and say very, very harsh things. But you can't really, I don't really let that get to me. I just do whatever I have to do, and I go out and give it my best every time. And win, lose, or draw, at the end of the day, I know that at that day that I gave everything that I had.
Another key player for the Bronx is catcher Jacob Huckabee, who used the offseason to improve his already impressive defense behind the plate.
I worked a lot into my defense throughout these 3 years. The bat has not always been there, but I know that behind the plate, I know my strength basically is going to be defensively, and I've been okay with that. It's not a big deal. Defensively, I've like I said, I worked really hard, so that helped me out a lot as far as getting to know pitchers.
Another defensive weapon for the Bronx will be the duo in the middle of the field of junior shortstop Tony Roque and senior second baseman Jesus Garcia, who share a great on-the-field chemistry.
First, it was a little tough because we're competing for that middle spots, and it was good though because it challenged us. It made us better, made us compete, but we built a good relationship. It was healthy. So it was good, healthy competition, and now we're just meshing and we're getting it, but we're constantly competing against each other, which I think makes us better and makes us mesh better because we compete healthy. It's a healthy competition. It's fun, and yeah, I get along with him off the field too. So
I think it's a lot of fun to play with Tony. It's been a while since I had a guy that can play like that. So even in practice, it's not even a struggle. We just go out there, have fun. We make plays. So it's going to be really fun for us and for everybody else to see us display. He's a really good player, and that's always fun.
One of the keys to success for the Bronx this season revolves around dividing the season into 3 smaller seasons and gradually getting better as you get closer to the season that matters most, the postseason.
And then we tell the guys that it's really basically 3 seasons. The games before you start the WAC conference, that's one season. The WAC conference, it's a totally different season. Those are the games you really, really want to bear down and you want to do well. And then the 3rd season is a postseason. But for us, we need to key on getting better every game, but in particularly the WAC games, all 27 of them, starting against Sac State when we travel up to California. Those 27 games are the ones that we really need to bear down on, look at, and try to play the best that we can during those 27 games.
For Bronc Country, this is Romeo Villarreal.
One of the most important things about UTPA baseball is honoring the history and traditions of past squads, their Bronc legacy, if you will. So it was incredibly appropriate that, on the day of the man simply known as Coach Al, Al Ogletree, the man who won over 1,000 games with the Bronx, led the team to 13 NCAA regionals and 1 College World Series, turned 85, the Bronx held their annual First Pitch Luncheon. We send it back out to Romeo on the baseball beat.
On behalf of the Department of Intercollegiate Athletics, I'd like to welcome each of you to the 2015 First Pitch Luncheon.
This last Thursday, Athletics held their annual First Pitch Luncheon to give fans of Bronc baseball an insight for what to expect this season while they sat down and ate a nice meal. Someone particularly interested to hear what the Broncs have going on is Broncs baseball alum Jack Ewing.
I see that obviously there's more money, and that always helps. The stadium's really nice. I was a product of Jody Ramsey Stadium when I played in the 70s, and so my heart was a little broke when they tore down that stadium, but the new stadium's really nice. And Coach Mantrana has done a great job. I mean, I was really impressed with the academic progress of the students, all of them, and having a 3.5 and above as a team average. That's incredible. So, of course, most of us don't play ball after college, so that academics is real important.
Coach Mantrana was excited to see the turnout at this year's luncheon and is excited to have the season get underway.
Well, it was good on both fronts, Romeo. Number one, obviously, the First Pitch Luncheon signifies that the opening day of the baseball season is drawing near. And it was also a great day because we also got to celebrate Coach Al's 85th birthday. So it was a great day for not only this year's team, but Bronc baseball and the Bronc baseball family.
Today is the big man's 85th birthday. Coach Al will...
Toward the end of the luncheon, time was taken to wish UTPA baseball legend Coach Al Ogletree a happy 85th birthday and reminisce about what he's meant to this program.
Of course, I played for him in 1975 and 76, and he was like a father to me. I was away from home, obviously, coming down here in the middle of nowhere. You know, who ever heard of Edinburg, Texas back in the 70s? And so he took me under his wing. He really nursed me. He's like a father to me. And, of course, I get kind of welled up seeing him at his age now and thinking about all the years we've had. And, of course, I live here, so I go visit him every now and then, and we like to talk and visit. He's a strong man, and you can't help but love him. He's the most wonderful man I've ever met.
He is basically Bronc baseball. Many years that he spent there as a head coach, and many wins, taking the team to the College World Series, and many players that played for him. There'd really be no tradition without Coach Al. So when you're talking about Bucky the Bronc, you'll probably have to rename him Coach Al the Bronc. So he means everything to the baseball program.
For Bronc Country, this is Romeo Villarreal.
I want to thank everybody for being here.
UTPA women's soccer made some pretty significant accomplishments during its inaugural season. And with over 6 months until next season, the Broncs already have their sights set on the next step. Coming up on Bronc Country, we check in with UTPA women's soccer. The UTPA women's soccer team had one of the best seasons ever by a first-year NCAA Division I program in the state of Texas. Full practices don't start until mid-March, but that doesn't mean the Broncs aren't working hard. Anais Cortez has the story.
Getting to that next level is harder than you think. Soccer is usually considered a team sport, but right now, the Broncs are breaking it down in smaller groups.
It's all about getting fit and making sure that now that we do have a season under our belt, that we're going to be much more competitive come next year, and that we can prove to, everybody in the WAC and show that, we are a team to be reckoned with, and fitness is such a huge part of the game, obviously. And so the coaches are laying a great foundation. Our strength coaches are, making sure we're good contenders for next year.
Each player is focused on polishing her technical skills to become fitter and faster.
For me as a captain, I know it's my job to lead by example, and I want to make sure that when I'm out there, I'm obviously giving it 110% and making sure that I'm pushing myself as well as making sure I can push the other girls and just lead with my energy and making sure that as hard as it is, and as sometimes as much as it's difficult to get through practice, that we know, you're not going to die, and you can get through it. It's all part of the process, and it's all going to be worth in the end. So I have to remind myself of that, and continually remind my teammates.
And the workouts are tailored to fit the player's position.
It's always about improvement of the individual and the position that they play, and being very, very specific in our work. The players that are here are very dedicated to becoming better. That's the idea. They know that there's lots of competition coming, and they want to put themselves in a very good position to be successful in 2015.
The Broncs will continue these small group workouts before resuming full team workouts in mid-March. They hope this will bring team success in the upcoming season. Reporting from the UTPA Soccer and Track and Field Complex, I am Anais Cortez.
Everything the Broncs do this spring is geared toward the fall, But the Broncs will get a chance to work in real game conditions this spring as well, with a 4-match exhibition schedule in March and April. The Broncs play host to St. Mary's and St. Thomas on April 11th and 19th, while visiting Texas A&M-Corpus Christi and Our Lady of the Lake. Anyone for tennis? Beautiful day at the Orville Cox Tennis Center. Broncs playing host to Incarnate Word. We start with doubles. Broncs fall at number 2. Gotta win on the other 2 courts. And Juan Cruz Soria and Kobe Jansen do their part at number 1. 6-3 win. And then Miguel Alvarez and Hector Ramirez do their part at number 2. Another 6-3 win. Broncs up 1-love. On to singles. And Alvarez gets the Broncs off to a good start. Picks up the 6-1, 6-2 win at number 5. Broncs up 2-love. Now it's 2-1 when Ramirez dispatches his opponent at number 2. 6-4, 6-4 to put the Broncs on the cusp of victory. And at number 4, Nicolas Severlin finishes the job. 6-1, 6-4. Broncs win 4-3.
Happy for the boys to get the win. They've been putting in the right type of training. They take care of their bodies and their minds, and so it was real good. We lost this team a couple times last year, a couple heartbreakers, so it's good to switch it on. I mean, we won the match 4-1. We lost a couple matches that were still on, which were bothering us because we really wanted to beat that team on every single court. So it was good to get the win, but we really wanted to send a message, especially to an in-state rival. So it's good. It's good to get the win. Good to have some adversity there, so it'll help us get more excited when we get back out here Monday morning first thing and start training.
UTPA women's tennis went up to Corpus Christi to make up last week's rained-out match, falling 1-6. Katya Stavrolaki the lone point for the Broncs, after picking up a 6-2, 6-4 win at number 2 singles. Stavrolaki also had a win at doubles, teaming up with Regan Greenwood for a 6-1 win at number 1. Want to help prepare our student athletes for excellence in life? Then join the Bronc Athletic Fund today. You can become a member of the BAF for just $50 a year. All of the proceeds go directly to student athlete scholarships, so visit BroncAthleticFund.com today to see how you can make a meaningful impact on the lives of student athletes.
It all comes down to this. 14 teams battle their way through the bracket for a chance to punch their ticket to the big dance. Be a part of the madness in Las Vegas, March 11th to 14th. Go all in and witness who goes home a champion at Orleans Arena. The 2015 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. Tickets on sale now
at UTPAAbronx.com.
We will work our minds, raise our hands, and search for the answers. We will study the stars, learn to speak each other's languages, and hear each other's songs. We will make each tomorrow brighter, more prosperous, and completely new. We cannot predict the future, but we can and will build it. We will come together. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. New opportunities for the 21st century.
Busy week ahead for the Broncs. Men's basketball back home to face Bakersfield Thursday and Seattle Saturday. The women play the same 2 teams on the road before hosting a non-conference tilt against NJIT on Monday. Baseball opens up the season with a pair of doubleheaders at Jackson State, also facing off against Tennessee Martin. Men's golf hosts the Bronc Intercollegiate Monday and Tuesday at Los Lagos Golf Course in Edinburg. Track and field heads to Houston, while both tennis teams take on in-state rivals on the road. We want to thank you for stamping your passport in Bronc Country this week. Schedule another visit for next week. But until then,
go Broncs!
It all comes down to this. 14 teams battle their way through the bracket for a chance to punch their ticket to the big dance. Be a part of the madness in Las Vegas, March 11th to 14th. Go all in and witness who goes home a champion at Orleans Arena. The 2015 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. Tickets on sale now
at UTPAAbronx.com.
We will work our minds, raise our hands, and search for the answers. We will study the stars, learn to speak each other's languages, and hear each other's songs. We will make each tomorrow brighter, more prosperous, and completely new. We cannot predict the future, but we can and will build it. We will come together. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. New opportunities for the 21st century.